Do you recall whether you provided assistance or advice to Ms Waterhouse as to what she should do in light of the meeting with Mr Sauter? In other words, you seem to recall a meeting with Mr Sauter where there were some discussions between Ms Waterhouse, Mr Sauter and you regarding the issues that she was having, which we might describe in general terms the roads issue.
Yes.
Do you recall whether you provided any further assistance to Ms Waterhouse in that area, other than setting up the meeting of the kind that we have identified so far?
I can't recall directly what other assistance I gave. I do recall seeing a letter somehow that Ms Waterhouse constructed about the issues, and I do recall there was a meeting with I'm trying to think of the lady's name. Was planning for Western Sydney or infrastructure.
Do you mean the Greater Sydney Commission?
I think that's the name of it, yes.
And you're referring to Dr Hill?
That's the lady, yes.
So I'll come back to the detail of that, but you're referring before to a letter. That was a letter between who and who?
I'd have to see the letter to recall it. But I know there was a detailed letter about the issues.
Let me try and help you this way. Volume 16, page 51.
Exhibit 250.
Exhibit 250, also volume 16, page 51. Do you see there a letter to Mr Sauter? Thank you for taking your time to meet briefly yesterday, and then providing information regarding the Smart West Sydney proposal. Do you see that there?
Yes.
Is that the letter that you're referring to a moment ago?
No.
So it was a letter, as best you can recall, it was a letter from who to who?
From Ms Waterhouse. It may be the letter.
Just flick a few pages just so you can see the content. See, there's a map identifying the site, identifying at least in part the problem, and if you just have a look near on the previous page, see the two dot points?
Yes.
What Smart West Sydney seeks is twofold. First dot point, recognition in infrastructure planning that the Smart West site with its strategic location will sooner or later be zoned for urban development.
Yes.
And second dot point, road planning to recognise the Western Airport precinct and accommodate access from the Northern Road alignment. You see that there?
Yes, that could be the letter then, yes.
And is it consistent with your recollection that that was the two road or planning related issues that Ms Waterhouse had as you understood it?
Yes.
And that you sought to assist her with?
Yes.
And so you're saying that this letter that's on the screen is possibly the letter that you're referring to before?
Yes.
But I take it from your answers you're not 100% sure. There may be some other...
I'm not 100% clear, but...
But is it right to say that you provided assistance to Ms Waterhouse as to the approach that she should take in relation to lobbying for what she sought to achieve, which is the two dot points, or at least principally the two dot points that we can see on the screen?
My recollection would be that she would be advised to write that letter to Mr Sauter or to the person that was addressed to after having advice from the meeting that we referred to before.
And so Mr Sauter may have said, well, send me a letter so that I can put it through the process.
So I would assume that's the case.
But do you at least agree that on one or perhaps more than one occasion you gave Ms Waterhouse some advice as to, for example, who she should write to,
Yes.
who she should chase up, who she should speak to, who
Yes.
she should not speak to?
Yes, I agree.
And I'll just give you an example of that for your comment. We'll move to the 23rd of October 2017. It was Intercept 3049, Exhibit 259. So this is a few days after the letter that we just saw.
Yeah, it's 343 first.
Hello, Louise. How are you?
Fabulous, Daryl. How are you?
Good, John. Good.
Have I got you at a busy time?
No, it's all right. I just got back to the office and sitting here talking to the girls.
Oh, great. Okay. I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things. One is to see if you'd heard anything from that nice young man that was that you went to the policy for parliamentary liaison officer.
He's meant to come back to you
Is he
directly.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Well, do I just wait and see, or do I?
Did he give you his card and number?
Yes, he did, and I sent him that email, but I've never heard a thing from him since then.
What day was that?
That was last Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. Well, the House was sitting, so give it till about Wednesday, and then go back to him.
Okay, great. They've released the Greater Sydney plans today or the weekend.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe how short-sighted they are, to be very honest with you, because they've...
Wouldn't surprise me.
And I just think they've got an ulterior motive. I think they're trying to delay the area that we're in to do all their acquisitions for roadways, which I can understand too. But
this is Lucy Turnbull.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always said she shouldn't be there. She shouldn't be there. I don't know why they ever appointed her in the first place. It was dumb. It was one of Mike Baird's choices. Trouble is no one wants to get rid of her.
Yeah, well, they can't, can they?
Well,
that's the problem. You put someone like that in, you can never get rid of them.
That's the problem.
Yeah. The thing is that, as all our planners and even other people say, it's just daft because they're relying on all this fragmented land, which will never be developed because no one can ever agree on anything. And where we've got large, huge holdings, which would just be so quick and easy to do, they're sort of, putting it into obscurity. Yeah,
well, I think that the question you've asked now will have opened the door for you to pursue that. I mean, the problem is they're there doing this. I don't think they've got a frigging clue. And it's being driven by a woman who shouldn't be there. And I don't know that she's that eminently qualified to do all this big picture stuff. And there are lots of agendas. There are lots of agendas. My advice, email back to the young fella. Do it today. Say, look, I spoke to you Wednesday. I haven't had communication. What's happening? Just keep the pressure on him. And then just CC me in on the emails, okay?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Just because I don't want them to say, oh, well, look, it's all solved now because the GSC says this. And the problem we're up against is they're going to say, oh, well, look at the GSC. They're not allowing for any development in that area, so why should we put a road there? Well, what we're saying is at least have the possibility to make a road in the future if it's needed, because if you put it down in obscurity, you're never going to get it out.
That's right.
And, the orbital road on the plans today goes through our site, but I can't, I don't know that they're going to give us an on or off ramp because... they're expensive items, aren't they? So this northern road is the logical connection for us.
That's right. So just keep the pressure on there and just keep emailing, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you. And I did tell a couple of the different people from Tonga about, our discussions about the prison, so I look forward if there's anything that does come up from the corrective department.
Well, that's already gone to them, so I've already done that. That's underway.
Fabulous. Thank you.
All right.
Nice to talk to you. Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Mr Maguire, do you agree that that call provides an example of the kind of advice that you're giving to Ms Waterhouse from time to time as to how to seek to achieve her objectives, principally those objectives that we saw in the 2 dot points of the letter? Is that right? And would you agree that around about this point in time, your efforts shift to some degree in that as at September it looked like you were quite confident that the Country Gardens sale of the land might take place, whereas a little bit later, we're now in October, you're concerned that the prospects of Country Garden Australia purchasing the Smart West land may well be less than what you thought they were in September.
Can you repeat that, please?
In September of 2017, which is really where we started this morning, 5th and 6th of September 2017, you seem to be quite confident of a sale of the Smart West land occurring and you receiving a substantial payment, correct?
Correct.
Now, that sale didn't ultimately occur, is that right?
That's correct.
And do you agree that you were assisting Ms Waterhouse in attempting to fix some of her issues, including in relation to roads and including in relation to planning, with the possibility that instead of there being a sale to Country Garden, there might, for example, be an investment by another investor?
Yes.
And that was part of why you were assisting Ms Waterhouse in relation to roads issues and planning issues. You were hoping that they would assist in improving the position for Ms Waterhouse to be able to either sell or, if not, develop the land.
And put a safer access for the 30 or 40 residents. That's correct.
But those two things are connected, aren't they? In the sense that with a better, more convenient and safer access to the Northern Road, it's more likely that one can obtain an investor to assist in the development of the site.
At some point in the future, yes.